Hey guys, I'm John Setzler. Welcome back to Atlanta Grill Company. Today I'm going to do something that I've been a little hesitant to do in the past, but I've been asked frequently to make a gluten-free pizza. The reason I've hesitated on this in the past is because I've not seen any of these things that look like something I wanted to do or something that I would even eat myself. So I did some research recently to try to find what I thought might be the best option for making a gluten-free pizza. And I'm just going to be up front with you and tell you this process and some of this recipe information that I have here comes directly from America's Test Kitchen. I will give you the recipe for this gluten-free flour because this homemade gluten-free flour blend is the one that's going to give you the best results. From what I've tested myself so far, that recipe will be in the video description, so let's get started. We're going to get our pizza dough together, and I'm going to start in the bowl of my stand mixer. And I'm going to add my gluten-free flour blend. Like I said, I've given you the recipe for this flour blend in the video description. And to that, I'm going to add my almond flour, my powdered psyllium husk, baking powder, salt, onion powder. I'm actually using granulated onion here, granulated garlic, and some Italian herb blend. Those three are not called for in this recipe. I'm just adding these because it needs some added flavor. There's some flavor lacking in this crust, and we're going to fix that by adding those ingredients. And then I've got my instant dried yeast. And just to get that started, I'm going to take my whisk and get that mixed together a little bit. So I've put this on my mixer, and I'm going to turn the mixer on slow, and we're going to use the paddle, and we're going to drizzle our water into here just to get the water combined. And once we have all the water in there, we're going to add our oil. And I am using extra virgin olive oil. And once that's combined, I'm going to turn the mixer speed up, and we're going to let that go for about 5 or 6 minutes. And after about 5 or 6 minutes in the mixer, this is what you're going to end up with. This is more like a batter than a dough, so just scrape that off of your blade and get all you can into the bowl. And then we're going to take this bowl off the mixer. And from here, I'm just going to kind of take my spatula and push this down. And if you're wondering why there's not any more than that in here, from the actual recipe on the America's Test Kitchen site, I'm only making half. We're going to make one 12-inch pizza instead of two. And then I'm just going to cover this bowl with plastic wrap. We're going to put this in a warm spot and let it rise, if you will, for 90 minutes. We're going to cook this pizza today on the Napoleon, so I'm going to fire this guy up. I'm going to fire up the two outside burners, and I'm going to turn them down probably to about 50% power, and we're going to bring the temperature inside the Napoleon up to about 350. Okay, we have let our dough do its thing. It doesn't really rise much, but it's a little puffier than it was. And what I've done here is I've taken my 12-inch, this is a Lloyd Pans 12-inch deep dish pizza pan. I took a piece of parchment paper and I cut it to fit perfectly in the bottom of this pan. So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to use a spatula here, and I'm going to scrape my dough right out into the middle of this pan. And I want to get all of that in there. And from here, I'm just going to take my spatula and I'm going to spread this out as evenly as I can get it, almost out to the edge of the pan. The instructions for this process actually tell you to spray the top of this with cooking spray and then use plastic wrap on top of it so you can kind of press on it. But they were also working on a rectangular sheet pan trying to form a circle, so I've just decided to do this process right here. So I'm not going to do that. We're going to go with what we've got here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this out to the grill so we can par bake this. So I've got my gas grill. It's actually running here at about 325 degrees, and that's right where we want it. So we're going to put this in there and we're going to let that cook for about 45 minutes or so. We've been going right at 45 minutes here, and this crust is looking pretty good. It's starting to brown around the edges. So we're going to move on to the next phase of this cook. What has to happen next is we have to take this off and it needs to cool. And I'm going to set it aside, and while we're letting that cool, I'm going to put my Kamado Joe pizza stone here on the gas grill, on the Napoleon, and I'm going to ramp the temperatures up in this grill to around 500 degrees and let this stone get nicely preheated to about 500 while we cool that pizza crust. So I've given my crust time to cool, and I've set it up here on my pizza peel. So we're going to go ahead and top this. So I'm going to start it with some sauce, and then I'm going to add some shredded mozzarella, and then I'm going to throw on some pepperoni, and then this guy is ready for the grill. My Napoleon's cruising along here right at 500 degrees, and I've given that pizza stone plenty of time to preheat. So let's put this on. Okay, we're going to crack the lid, and I'm going to get that guy right on the stone. We're going to close it up, and we're going to cook for about 10 minutes or so. We've been going here right at about 10 minutes, and I believe that guy's looking pretty good. Let me have a peek here. Yep. We're going to take this off and have a closer look at it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give this guy a cut. We'll give it one more here. Let's have a look at the bottom of this. Let's make sure you can see that there. That's got a nice browned, crisp bottom. I'm going to take a piece of this and have us a taste test here. I'm going to have to say this is not bad. This actually exceeds my expectations of what I thought I was going to be able to get out of a gluten-free pizza. You're going to need to pay close attention to the recipe. I'm going to give you the link to the original recipe and process here from America's Test Kitchen, and then I'm going to show you the variations that I made in the recipe, because I believe the addition of the garlic powder and onion powder and Italian herb blend to this dough, along with using olive oil instead of vegetable oil, has brought an acceptable flavor to this. So guys, if you are looking for a gluten-free pizza solution, I highly recommend this. I don't have a lot to compare with when I'm telling you that this is good. I made this last week, and instead of using America's Test Kitchen's flour recipe, I used King Arthur's gluten-free all-purpose flour, and it was nowhere near as good as this. So guys, give this a try. Let me know what you think. Until next time, this is John Setzler with Atlanta Grill Company.